this the vote? Does anyone, this is the voting session for House Judiciary for February 24th. Does anyone need any extra copies? Need a copy? Can you slide some down? Thanks. Yeah, we don't have enough for, share with a friend.
There are only two. Yeah, the other two.
So I'm hearing a lot of chatter. Let's talk about it. I'm hearing a lot of chatter. I'll tell you what we got going on here. So we only are going to vote on two bills. One is an emergency bill, so there won't be any holds on that one. The other one is a regular bill. And then the last two are withdrawn. So does everybody, so the first bill on your sheet, you should see 17. Does everyone have a sheet? Mm-hmm. Or one nearby that you can glance at? And it's on the website. But I will call out the bill so that you can actually pull it up on your system, and then that way if you want to look at your notes or anything, you'll have that opportunity as well. So we have two that are withdrawn.
Second.
Thank you. So is there anyone who is opposed to the two that are withdrawn, House Bill 1489 and House Bill 1564? Everyone raise your hand if you're in favor. Oh, what am I raising my hand?
It's been a long day.
I know. Yeah, raise your hand. Okay. All right, any opposed? Okay, seeing none. That's unanimous. So let's move to our first bill, House Bill 17.
Favorable. Second.
Thank you. Okay.
I was going to ask if there was another. Okay, great.
All righty. So then Delegate Cardin or Holly, is this
The
you?
amendment is technical.
So we need a motion on the amendment?
We got that.
Well, not all technical. Okay. Okay.
It did go through Estates and Trust Subcommittee, though, and it was voted out unanimously. But this amendment does make some technical corrections, like Delegate Cardin just said, and it also clarifies the criteria for determining the venue for administrative or judicial probate of a decedent who was not domiciled in the United States, but previously resided in the state, or if the decedent was not domiciled in the state and had not resided in the state and was not domiciled in the United States in a particular county that satisfies certain conditions. It's all laid out in subsection A, and it was broken out into different categories. So if somebody's not a resident here in the state, it allows them to go through probate. And Delegate Carter, do you want to expand?
No, okay. The amendment basically does what the bill does.
Exactly.
It specifies which county qualifies to be the county where the probate
Yes.
Okay, did everyone hear that? Yes. Okay. Okay, we got a favorable on the amendment, and we have a second. Are there any questions, concerns? All right. All in favor of the, I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, so the amendment satisfies all of the parties involved, because I saw there were several that were looking for the amendment, which sounds like this is the amendment they were looking for.
And the chair of Estates and Trust says yes. All right. Any other questions? Seeing none. All in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand. Anyone opposed? Okay, the amendment passes, and may I have a motion on the bill as amended?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second to pass the bill as amended. Are there any questions? Seeing none, let's take the roll call.
House Bill 17, the Vice Chair. Yes. Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Aye. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Aye. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin.
Yes.
Delegate Cardin votes yes. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes yes. Delegate Ngolo. Delegate Ngolo votes yes. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes yes. Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes yes. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes yes. Delegate Archon. Delegate Archon votes yes. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes yes. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes yes and add. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods votes yes. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams is a yes and an add. The vote is 18-001. The motion carries.
All right, okay, Delegate Simmons is an add. Does anyone else want to add as a co-sponsor? Okay, well, you know we've got Conaway, we got Delegate Woods, we've got Delegate Williams, we got Delegate McComas, and we got Delegate Simmons.
I want to make sure I got everybody. So Delegate Conway, Delegate Williams, Delegate Simmons, Delegate Woods, and Delegate McComas. Anybody else?
Anyone else wishing to add? All right, seeing none, that's it.
13.
Okay, so that is it for House Bill 17. Now we're going to move to House Bill 1341. And we're going to ask Holly, thank you. No, yes, you're right. The bill has been amended. I have a motion and a second on the amendment. All in favor of the amendments? Oh, first of all, let's talk about it. Hey, you know. My bad. Delegate Archon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to spend as much time as possible with y'all tonight. So this is obviously heavily amended, and the sponsor did discuss some of this in the hearing. I just want to make sure I understand. This is kind of like the last bill, two separate bills that have been kind of combined, because there's also this sensitive spaces courthouse edition. That's a different bill, right? That we're sticking inside here?
Through the amendment?
Yeah,
Okay,
let me go through the amendments, and then if you have questions, we can go through. I know the hearing, Delegate Ebersol, you did a great job, but he didn't have a lot of time. So the bill, we're to start from the beginning. The bill is now called Immigration Enforcement, Expanding Sensitive Locations, Notification and Guidance, the Maryland Values Act of 2026. It is Ebersol's bill, Delegate Ebersol's bill, House Bill 1341, with some of the sensitive locations material that was from House Bill 1222, Chapter 718 of 2025, the Maryland Values Act from last year. We're just expanding that. So that's what you're seeing in this piece, that sensitive locations part. So the first page of the bill to page 3 is parts of the sensitive locations piece, but we're also expanding it to have under the notification requirements that are under section 2-104 of the criminal procedure article. If you go to page 3, paragraph 3, it says if a public school personnel as defined in 7-1508.1, and I'll get to that definition in just a minute, is notified of immigration enforcement as defined in 6-111 of the state government article. This is the sensitive locations piece from last year. That includes a sensitive location that includes a school. The public school personnel shall notify the county superintendent of the affected school or the county superintendent's designee. So we're just putting a notification requirement there for public school personnel. In the middle of this page, page 3, it's not numbered because this is a reprint. Go to section 2-104.2. You will see here, this is where we are requiring courthouses to deny access to certain portions of the courthouse unless certain conditions are satisfied. So here, last year, the bill had a public school, a public library, or a unit of the executive branch of state or local government. We're including courthouses here. So unless a warrant, a valid warrant is issued, or there are exigent circumstances, they have to deny access to a sensitive location that requires a security screening or is not accessible to the general public. The bottom of page 3 is, you'll see the education article 1-101 was brought in. That's technical. It's just because we are defining county superintendent now, and that's clarifying. 7-1501 is Delegate Ebersol's bill as it was introduced on page, it's 4, but it says page 2 at the top. These are the definitions for Delegate Ebersol's House Bill 1341 as it was introduced. Under 7-1508.1, you will see here it's where public school personnel is defined as a school resource officer, a school security employee, a principal or an assistant principal, a teacher, a school counselor, or a law enforcement officer who satisfies the conditions that are under paragraph 6, subsection A. Under 7-1508.1, a public school personnel may not be used for purposes of or otherwise engage in immigration enforcement, and that's as defined in 6-111. We'll get there in a minute. That's sensitive locations. They can't help with immigration enforcement, and except as provided in subsection C, they can't share certain information or documents pertaining to a student or an employee personnel records. And if you get to subsection C, in order to share, they have to have a judicial warrant, a judicial subpoena, or a legal order. And so that is Ebersol's bill, Delegate Ebersol's bill, excuse me, as he introduced it with a few clarifying and technical changes and just a little bit of cleanup to connect it to the sensitive places, which is in the state government article 6-111. And finally, on this page, which I think we're on page 5 now. Yeah, page 5, this is the sensitive locations piece that's under state government article, section 6-111. In this part, under paragraph 4, subsection A, paragraph 4, sensitive location, we are expanding sensitive location to, it was a public school in chapter 718 as it was in 2025. We're adding here a designated school bus stop or school vehicle as defined in 11-154 of the transportation article. We're also adding under sensitive locations, any location that distributes, well, any location that provides state-funded services related to distributing food to individuals in need, and any private entities that provide services related to distributing food to individuals in need. And then at the bottom, subsection D of the second to last page is where we have the guidance. So as the bill was introduced, as the bill, House Bill 1222, Chapter 718 passed, it required on or before October 1st of 2025, each public school, public library, and unit of executive branch of state or local government that operates at a sensitive location to implement a policy consistent with the guidance issued by the Attorney General. We're expanding this to now say courthouses. A courthouse that operates at a sensitive location shall implement a policy on or before October 1st, 2026. And on or before October 1st of each year, the Attorney General must update the guidance issued under this section as necessary, and the guidance shall be updated by each courthouse, public school, public library, or unit of executive branch or state or local government as necessary. And then the final amendment is we make the bill an emergency bill. I know that was a lot, so if you have.
That was helpful. I guess my question is, how does this not violate the single subject rule? I mean, it's pulling from education article, it's pulling from criminal code. How does it not violate that?
I'll defer to the chair and Delegate Williams here, because she actually was part of House Bill 1222 last year, but they all deal with sensitive locations and the parameters and guidance and the sensitive locations piece.
Education article, criminal article, state government article, those all somehow have to do with one subject matter?
Yes, in this case they do because of the sensitive location. So we have to pull in the education article because we're talking about schools. And yeah, and we did that last year, but we have to pull that in. The criminal procedure section has to be added, has to be included because we're talking about warrants that would be served at schools.
Notifications.
And, yeah. And
Yeah, I'm more thinking about the difference between creating policy around schools and then separately creating a policy in the same bill about the court system. Do you see how those things don't really make a lot of sense
Oh, you
together?
mean courthouses?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
so we can do that because the topic is sensitive location. Courthouse happens to be one of the sensitive locations. Yeah.
Okay.
The same as the food distribution. The food distribution may be at a school, it could be at a courthouse, but it could be at a church. Or it could be, that could be tons of different types of places.
And then my last question is, what makes this an emergency?
It's
Since
an
we heard
emergency bill
today that
because
there's no events.
because of the guidance that is going to be needed from the AG, and we need to have this done and in place so that people can observe the law. So we have, let's see here, hold on just one second. So this was, this,
From last.
okay, I just wanted to make sure with Holly that I was in the right direction. So if you look on page, I don't know what page number this is. It's page 6 at D1, where we have the law about on or before October 1, 2025. You see that? Near the bottom.
Sorry, you know those interlineated, those things are so, oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what we already had in effect, and so what we want to do is add on to that. But we have to make sure, as you heard today, I think I heard testimony that there's been 567 ICE detainees, and so we want to make sure that the schools are clear on what they can do and what they can't do, and the school personnel, as well as with the courthouses, we want to make sure that, we get these items in place. What we don't want, and one thing that we were really concerned about, and I say we, meaning that the folks who worked on this bill, was we don't want someone accepting a warrant and trying to take it upon themselves as to what to do with it. We don't want someone being, trying to make these decisions on their own. So that's why we wanted to make sure we had law in place and as to who can do what, and also to get the Attorney General's guidance.
I mean, okay, I hear that.
Yeah.
I'll just say, the Attorney General can offer suggestions without legislation, but we heard in the hearing today that there has not been a single documented event of this actually occurring in our state. So this is very preemptive, and I would just caution against continuously using emergency legislation in a non-emergent way. I just think it makes us look like an unserious body when we do. Like, there are legitimate emergencies we have in the state, which we have addressed like that over the years. This cannot come to that point because there has not been a single case of this in our state documented versus tons of really tragic stuff that could really use an emergency label that I think everybody would agree is an emergency. I would just say, for the record, this cannot be it. And I think we should get away from using this in such a manner. I think it makes us look unserious.
And I respect that, but I did hear 567. Right. Well, detention, ICE detention. Yeah, and I don't know how that came about, but I do know that there were 567. Delegate Williams, did you want to add anything?
Sorry.
Or did you have something?
Multiple.
I would just say, I know I've heard from constituents in my district who, in the midst of taking their children to school, have seen ICE agents outside of the school. I know for the school system for my county, they would love some additional guidance whenever these situations arise. They would love some additional guidance if someone were to come to the school with a detainer warrant and how to proceed and what to do in those circumstances. They felt like what we passed last year could just, they just would love some additional clarification in addition to what we passed last year, so that if something like this were to occur, they would know definitively what they should be doing, who should be the person that is interacting with the individual, that is approaching the school and the school grounds and things like that.
Unfortunately, I just saw that Eastern School, I think it's Eastern Middle School in Silver Spring, there was just an incident there with ICE. So we do need to have this in place sooner rather than later. And I appreciate what you're saying, and we will have an opportunity, of course, obviously, to talk about this bill on the floor. Are there any other questions, members? Is everybody ready to go home? It's okay. It's all right. I understand. This is our last item of business for the day. So on House Bill 1341, we have a motion on the bill as amended, and we have a second. We did vote on the amendment. Delegate Conaway.
Thank you, Chair. Who delivers a
Yes, we did.
judicial?
Oh, I'm sorry, we did not. You're right, we did not. I'm sorry.
did.
Let me just
Hold
make
on.
sure I clarify. We have a motion on the amendment, and we have a second. We're still in discussion. Delegate Conaway?
Who delivers a judicial warrant to the school?
It would be one of the people that are authorized in the judicial officer, and the judicial officer has been described. It's someone who is authorized to make an arrest with or without a warrant, and someone who can, under the U.S. Code, and someone who is authorized to carry a weapon. So that would be the person who would deliver the warrant to the school.
So technically.
If there is a warrant.
So if they had a warrant, technically, they could bypass the typical school employees, like the what am I trying to do?
The SRO, the student,
What's the lady named to run? The principal? Like,
Principal.
avoid the principal and all of that and just go get the person, because they have the warrant? They have the.
oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that you're asking whether or not they would be able to bypass a principal to execute an arrest warrant.
Yes, because if the security personnel happens to be law enforcement, a police officer, then that's still going to go from law enforcement to law enforcement. So we're talking about them bypassing. I'm looking at the part about.
Under the on the school resource officer means? Are you under that section? Oh, I see where you are, at 7-1508.1, are you there?
I think he's here. This one, the public school person, so we're going
Okay.
straight to the superintendent.
So I don't have the same thing that you have. I'm on page 3. Yes.
Okay, yeah, so this came up in discussion, so he's on page 3, paragraph 3. It's, where the public school personnel goes straight to the county superintendent or the county superintendent's designee. And this
Right.
came up in discussions because of the timing. It has to go straight up, and it would be up to the guidance that's in 6-111. The Attorney General is going to have to establish guidance by October 1st of 2026 that will help address what happens now, because this is something that isn't in the guidelines that the Attorney General has already produced for public schools. So because we're changing it, this just goes back to the 6-111 with having the AG help us with some guidance on how to handle this. And there would be a protocol similar to, I described it an HR issue. For example, if you had to go straight up to HR, if you had an issue like that, or you wanted to report something, you would go straight to the county superintendent instead of going through middleman, and time is wasted.
Yes, but what I'm trying to get to is if law enforcement comes in the door at the school and they go up to the security personnel, school security personnel, who happens to be a police officer. Yeah. The police officer has to immediately contact the superintendent or legal counsel before they go and issue the warrant?
Yes. They have to contact immediately.
That's if we pass this.
Yes.
But right now, without this pass, do they have to do that?
The federal, well, under the first part, under subsection C, federal office, if you go on page 2 of the bill, there is a notification piece there that if a federal, well, now it's judicial officer who acts under the authority granted by this section shall notify the following persons of an investigation, an enforcement action, or a federal immigration enforcement action at a sensitive location. And you'll see all these individuals listed under paragraph 1, Roman numeral 1. It's the chief of police, the police commissioner, the chief of police or chief's designee. It goes all the way through. It doesn't include superintendent or superintendent designee. And one of the issues is the schools superintendents not knowing when something's happening because it's happening so quickly, and they want to be included. So you'll see in paragraph 3, we keep it just to immigration enforcement actions. Sorry, I've been using that word so much. But it's just immigration. We're not using investigative or enforcement actions like under subsection C, but we want to get the notice to the county superintendent or the county superintendent's designee, and that's not under subsection C, so that's why we're expanding that.
Right, while they're waiting to waiting to serve the warrant on whoever they're looking for, is that right?
Yes.
Thank you,
And it's on a time restraint, obviously, yes. So yes, Delegate.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Delegate McComas.
I'm going to make this real quick. I have the original bill on my laptop, with the menu, but it's only like 2 pages. It's not 6 pages or whatever that you suggested. And so I think it's not, I'm just saying it's not melded together, the 2 bills, at least on my laptop.
You were sent a reprint. It's not going to, you have to look in your
Okay,
email.
so you sent the reprint
Yeah, the
to
reprint would have
email.
come from Hunter before we voted. If you look this bill up in the system, because it's been amended, it hasn't gone to the floor yet, so you can't see it unless you look at the reprint as Hunter sent to you in the amendment packet.
And if
So it's in the email?
you don't have it, I'll be more than
No,
happy to
I
give you
just
this
was,
copy to look
no,
at.
because it wasn't in the system, so don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah, it's
I don't
only
have-
because,
yeah.
we haven't voted it on the
Okay.
amendment on the
All right,
floor.
thanks. I didn't want to belabor it. I know everybody wants to go home.
No, that's fine. That's a good question. Delegate Conaway.
Question as to why the reprints are not put on the computer. We have a slot for reprints.
The answer is because we have not voted on this out of committee yet. It only goes on the system after we voted it out and we've voted it out on the floor.
Okay.
So,
but
and
you
then
have a
it'll refresh.
But you have a reprint.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Anybody else have any questions? I'm hesitating on purpose, just in case you do. Okay, so on the amendment, and I wonder if we should take a voice on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand. Okay, so it's like 13-ish. Okay, all opposed? Okay, 4 opposed. Okay. The ayes have it. Yep, 4. All righty, thank you. Move favorable as amended, House Bill 1341. Are there any other questions or discussion? All righty. Seeing none. Please, Hunter, call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1341, the Vice Chair. Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes no. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes no. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes yes. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes no. Delegate Moreno.
Yes.
Delegate Moreno votes yes. Delegate Archon? No. Delegate Archon votes an emphatic no. Delegate Taylor? There are no ads on this bill. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson?
Enthusiastically, yes.
Delegate Simpson enthusiastically says yes. Delegate Mangione? Delegate Mangione says no. Delegate Moon? Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway? Delegate Conaway votes no. Delegate Woods? Delegate Woods votes yes. Delegate Williams? Delegate Williams votes yes. 12-6-001, House Bill 1341 is passed as amended.
Hunter, you said 12-6-001. What's 001? Oh, okay, okay. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your diligent work tonight. We are adjourned.